like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
Hey everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time we're going to be looking at
It's a good one.
one of the biggest upsets of the bowl season so far.
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame beats Georgia
Nobody had that one.
in the Sugar Bowl. Georgia coming in undefeated.
Powerhouse.
The reigning national champs.
Yeah.
Just seemed like it was going to be another in a long line of dominant wins.
Absolutely.
And then Notre Dame pulls it off.
Yeah.
So we're going to figure out how this happened.
Yeah, how'd they do it?
What it means for these two teams going forward.
Right.
We got a great recap here from CBS Sports.
Really good stuff.
That's going to help us break this down.
Lots of details.
So,
Where do you even begin?
yeah, where do we even begin?
I mean, for me,
Yeah.
you got to start with that crazy stretch right around halftime.
Oh, yeah.
54 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Notre Dame scores 17 unanswered points.
Just like that.
CBS called it pure chaos, and
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good description.
Pretty accurate, I'd say.
Yeah. So how did it happen? What happened in those 54 seconds that just changed the entire complexion of this game?
Well, it starts with a forced fumble.
Okay.
Notre Dame's R.J. Oben just ripped the ball
Wow.
right out of Gunnar Stockton's hands.
Georgia's quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge momentum swing right there.
Absolutely.
And Notre Dame capitalized on it immediately.
How so?
Touchdown pass from Riley Leonard
Okay.
to Bo Collins
Yeah.
on the very next play.
Boom.
Just like that.
So Georgia's reeling a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
They're down. They're stunned. What happens next?
Well, then,
Yeah.
to add insult to injury,
Uh-oh.
Jaden Harrison takes the opening kickoff of the second half,
Okay.
98 yards
Right.
for another touchdown.
Just like that.
10-point deficit for Notre Dame
Uh-huh.
turns into a 7-point lead
Wow.
in 54 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Believable.
I knew it was a big swing, but here you break it down like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's insane.
It's insane.
54 seconds.
Completely flip.
You can't
Yeah.
underestimate that.
And football,
Yeah, and football momentum is everything.
especially in a big game like this.
Oh, absolutely. Conference playoffs.
Yeah.
The Sugar Bowl.
It felt like this wasn't the same old Notre Dame that we've seen, you know, in years past, where they're just a defensive powerhouse.
Yeah.
This team, they were ranked third nationally in turnover margin coming into this game.
That's right.
Yeah.
Opportunistic.
Yeah.
They're creating turnovers,
Yeah.
capitalizing on their opponent's mistakes.
Yeah. And it's not just the defense.
Okay.
They're making things happen on offense, too.
Yeah, they're not the flashiest offense,
Right.
but they're efficient.
They're efficient.
They're taking care of the ball.
Yeah.
And when they get those opportunities,
They make you pay.
they make you pay.
That's right.
And let's not forget their performance
Yeah.
in the trenches against Georgia's.
The big boys up front. Yeah, that defensive front.
Yeah.
Supposed to be
Supposed to dominate.
the strength of Georgia.
For sure.
Coming into this game.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame went toe-to-toe.
Held their own.
More than held their own.
That's right.
Which, you know,
Nobody expected that.
you don't see very often.
Not against that Georgia D-line.
No. Coach Marcus Freeman had a quote in the CBS Sports article
Okay.
that I thought was really interesting.
What do you say? He said, dummy.
This team is a bunch of misfits,
Uh-huh.
but they're obsessed with football.
I love that.
I think that kind of sums up
Yeah.
this Notre Dame team.
That underdog mentality.
Yeah.
That can be so powerful.
Playing with nothing to lose.
They had a chip on their shoulder.
Absolutely.
And it showed.
And on the flip side,
Yeah.
this loss for Georgia
Right.
really exposed some surprising weaknesses.
Yeah, they've been favored in almost every game this season.
Right.
Their performance hasn't always lived up to the hype.
That's right.
Yeah.
The article mentions that Georgia was actually 1-9 against the spread this season,
That's crazy.
which basically means
Yeah, for people who don't know,
Yeah.
against the spread just means,
even when they were winning,
yeah,
they weren't winning by as much as the odds makers predicted.
them to blow
Yeah.
teams out.
Which suggests that maybe there are some deeper issues there.
Yeah, cracks in the foundation.
Even though they were undefeated
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
into this game,
Huh?
one area where they really struggled was their offensive line.
Yeah, that was shocking to see.
I couldn't believe it.
Just how much they struggled. Yeah. Georgia's quarterbacks were constantly under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Their usually dominant run game was completely stifled.
No word one.
Notre Dame's defensive line just really controlled the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then there were the dropped passes.
Oh, man.
I mean, a whopping 36 dropped passes throughout the season.
You kidding me?
That's unheard of.
It's insane.
For a team of this caliber,
Yeah.
The article points to a crucial dropped touchdown in the third quarter
Oh, yeah.
by Dylan Bell.
Tough one.
If he catches that ball, it might have,
Who knows?
yeah,
Changes the whole game.
shifted the momentum back in their favor.
Absolutely.
And while I think Gunnar Stockton actually played pretty well,
Given the circumstances.
considering the pressure he was under,
Yeah, he didn't have much time there.
those drop passes and the offensive line struggles
You can't overcome that.
really held him back.
Yep.
So it sounds like there's a real question about whether Georgia's quarterback situation is as solid as it seems on the surface.
Right.
Maybe Stockton's good stats were more a result of the talent around him,
It's possible.
and this game kind of exposed that.
Yeah,
Maybe the pressure of
we've
being...
got huge expectations. The starting quarterback for the defending champs is finally getting to him.
Could be.
So beyond the score itself,
Yeah.
what were some of the most intriguing moments
Oh, there were a few.
within the game?
Yeah.
Anything that really stood out to you?
For me,
Yeah.
you got to start with Coach Freeman's just brilliant tactic
Okay.
to draw Georgia offsides
Oh, yeah.
on that late fourth down.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just pure coaching genius right there.
Yeah. I love that he's willing to take risks like that
Yeah,
and put his faith in his team
that's what you got to do.
to execute.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you got to roll the dice.
Absolutely.
And it paid off.
Yeah.
Big time.
And then another moment that's worth mentioning
Okay.
is that controversial pass interference call
Oh, yeah.
against Notre Dame.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, the CBS sports writer even called it
Questionable
a questionable call at best.
to best. Yeah.
It felt like for a minute there.
Oh, yeah.
That could swing the momentum back to Georgia.
Especially with the game so close in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
But even after that penalty,
Right.
the Irish defense stood strong.
They didn't let it rattle them.
Didn't let that call
Nope.
derail their game plan
Just kept battling.
or their focus.
Yeah.
They just kept battling.
That's what championship teams are made of.
It's that kind of resilience
Right there.
that you need to win championships.
Mental toughness.
Yeah.
For sure.
They don't let setbacks define them.
Nope.
They use them as fuel
Right?
to come back even stronger.
That's the sign of a good team.
Yeah.
When they face adversity.
Yeah.
And they just get tougher because of it.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes this upset even more fascinating. It wasn't just a fluke or a lucky break for Notre Dame.
No.
They earned this win
They went out
with their grit,
and took it.
their opportunism,
Yeah.
and their ability to adapt.
Absolutely.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
what does this upset suggest about
What does it all mean?
the state of college football this season?
Well, I think it speaks to the parity
Okay.
and unpredictability
Uh-huh.
we've been seeing all year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Clean.
teams that were once considered unbeatable are showing cracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And underdogs are rising to the occasion.
It really makes you wonder if Georgia was truly
As dominant as everyone thought.
as dominant as everyone thought they were.
Were they overrated?
Yeah.
Or is Notre Dame just that good?
And it throws the whole playoff picture
Oh, yeah.
wide open.
Nobody's safe.
So the question everyone's asking now
The big question.
is, does Notre Dame have a legitimate shot
Yeah.
at winning the national championship?
I don't know.
We're going to
It's going to be fun to find out.
talk about that
Let's do it.
a little bit later. But first, we need to take a quick break. I mean, it's a question that's on everybody's mind right now.
It is.
They have this really interesting blend of opportunistic offense and just tough, gritty defense.
Right.
Plus, they got that, us against the world mentality,
Oh, for sure.
which can be so powerful
It's a huge factor.
in a tournament setting like this.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just proved they can compete with the best.
Nobody thought they could hang with Georgia.
Right.
And they just shut them down.
Their ability to force turnovers is a game changer.
Yeah.
And like you said, they completely shut down Georgia's offense
Yeah.
for most of the game.
It wasn't like Georgia had an off day.
Right.
Notre Dame made them have an off day.
Yeah.
And that's what good teams do.
And even though their offense, might not be the flashiest,
Right.
they're clearly efficient.
They are.
And they know how to make the most of their opportunities.
They take advantage of mistakes.
Yeah. And they got a coach in Marcus Freeman.
Right.
Who's not afraid to take risks and seems to have a knack for outsmarting his opponents.
Yeah, that play where he drew Georgia offsides was brilliant.
Oh, my God.
It was like he knew exactly what Georgia was going to do in that situation.
Like he had it.
And to have the guts to call that
Yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah. That was some next level coaching.
Absolutely.
But let's flip the script for a second.
Okay.
Go back to Georgia. I mean, they were loaded with talent this year.
On paper, they were the best team in the country.
But they showed some vulnerabilities
Yeah.
throughout the season.
They had some close calls.
Like, what do you make of these dropped passes?
Oh, man.
36 for the season is just
It's mind-boggling.
unbelievable.
For a team at this level,
For a team of this caliber.
yeah, you just don't see that.
Like, are they choking under pressure?
It makes you wonder.
Because Georgia was favored in almost every game this season,
Right.
but they struggled to cover the spread.
All right.
So could it be that the weight of those expectations,
It's a lot of pressure.
it's actually hurting them?
Yeah. When you're expected to win every game
Yeah.
by a certain margin.
Yeah.
And then you don't,
Yeah.
it starts to mess with your head.
Like, maybe they're playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
It's possible.
Yeah.
You get tentative.
You know?
You start second-guessing yourself.
Yeah.
And that's when the mistakes happen.
And their offensive line woes
Oh, yeah.
are another issue that's kind of been bubbling under the surface
Yeah. They haven't been great all year.
all season.
And it finally caught up to them.
They couldn't protect Stockton, their
Mhm.
run game, which is usually
Their bread and butter.
their bread and butter,
They never got
shut down completely.
It almost felt like this Notre Dame defense was specifically designed to counter
Interesting.
Georgia's strengths.
Yeah.
Like, their defensive coordinator, Al Golden,
Mm-hmm.
deserves a ton of credit
He does.
for that game plan.
Yeah.
They took away Georgia's biggest weapons.
And it just left them scrambling to adjust.
They didn't know what to do.
And you have to wonder if maybe some of those dropped passes
Yeah,
are a result of that pressure.
it's possible.
You know, maybe the receivers are feeling rushed,
Uh-huh.
knowing they have to make a big play
Right.
because the run game isn't working.
They're trying to do too much.
Okay, so we talked about that controversial pass interference call
Oh, yeah.
against Notre Dame.
Questionable at best.
Even the CBS sports writer said
Yeah.
it was a pretty questionable call. How big of a turning point could that have been?
Oh, it was a huge moment.
It was a close game in the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
and that penalty gave Georgia a huge opportunity.
absolutely.
But even after that call, the Irish defense stood strong.
They did.
They didn't let it rattle them,
No,
and they held on for the win.
mental toughness
Yeah.
right there.
It's almost like that bad call woke them up.
Yeah.
It reminded them that nothing was going to be handed to them, and they had to fight for every inch.
You got to earn it.
It really does feel like
Yeah.
Notre Dame is embracing this underdog role.
They are.
And they have a history
Yeah.
of stepping up in big games.
You've been here before.
You know, they might not have won a national title
Like
in a while,
I've got a few years.
but they've always been a program
Okay.
that knows how to rise to the occasion.
They know how to win.
So,
They have a tough matchup coming up
team
against Penn State
in the semifinals.
in the semifinals.
It's going to be a good one.
Can Notre Dame keep this momentum going?
That's the million-dollar question. Is this a fluke?
It's one thing
To pull off an upset.
to pull off an upset,
Right.
but it's another
It's another thing.
to maintain
Go ahead.
that same intensity and focus
Yeah.
week after week.
Can they do it again?
Penn State has a solid defense
Yeah.
and a really dynamic offense.
Oh, yeah.
Led by Drew Aller.
He's a stud.
They're going to be
That's a problem.
a tough opponent.
Yeah, they're not going to be easy to beat.
So what do you think is going to be the key for
Yeah.
Notre Dame in this matchup?
For me,
Yeah.
it all comes down to their mental game.
Okay.
Can they maintain
Yeah.
that same edge and intensity
Yeah.
we saw against Georgia?
Right.
Can they stay locked in?
You know, it's one thing to pull off an upset,
Yeah.
but it's another to string together multiple wins
Right.
against top-tier competition.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So you're saying they can't afford
You can't get complacent.
to let this win go to their heads?
No.
They got to stay hungry.
You got to stay
They
humble.
got to stay focused.
Right.
And they got to treat every game
Like it's the national championship.
like it's the national
It's
championship.
the mentality you need.
And let's not forget that Penn State
Oh, yeah.
is going to be looking for revenge.
They want revenge.
Notre Dame beat them earlier this season.
Yeah, they're not going to forget that. So you know they're going to be coming in
With a chip on their shoulder.
with a chip on their shoulder.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a grudge match.
It is.
And I think it's going to come down to
Who wants it more?
which team wants it more.
That's what it always comes down to.
One thing that really impressed me about Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl
Yeah.
was their ability to win the battle in the trenches.
Yeah. They won that battle up front.
The CBS Sports article highlighted how they were able to lean on Georgia's defensive front
Yeah.
and win that battle,
They imposed their will.
which was huge.
Yeah.
Georgia's defensive line.
That was supposed to be their
It
strength.
was supposed to be their biggest strength,
Right.
and Notre Dame neutralized them.
They did.
It speaks volumes about their strength,
It does.
their resilience,
For sure.
and their preparation.
They were ready for that challenge.
And their offensive line deserves a ton of credit, too.
They do.
They've been battling injuries all season, and they came out
They stepped up
and dominated
big time.
against Georgia's front seven.
Yes.
To me, that's a sign
And it's impressive.
of a championship caliber team.
It is.
It really
It
is.
shows you they have depth.
And it's a testament to their depth.
And that next man up mentality.
And their next man up mentality.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what are your final thoughts on Notre Dame's chances in the playoffs?
Well,
Do you think they have what it takes
I think they have all the pieces.
to go all the way?
They got the talent,
Yeah.
they got the coaching,
Uh-huh.
and they got that belief
They got the belief.
that they can beat anybody.
Got the belief.
That they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
But
It's going to be a tough road.
it's not going to be easy.
But regardless of what happens next,
Yeah,
this Sugar Bowl victory has put the college football world on notice.
it has.
Notre Dame is back.
They're back.
And they're a force to be reckoned with.
Don't sleep on the Irish.
Absolutely not.
No, sir.
You know, it's funny. Before this game, everybody was talking about Notre Dame like they were just happy to be there.
Right.
Like, oh, they're just happy to be in the playoffs. And now,
Cinderella story.
yeah, now the whole conversation has changed.
Completely different.
Everybody's like, whoa,
Can they win it all?
can they actually go all the way? I
Yeah.
mean, after watching that game,
I wouldn't bet against them.
it's hard to.
Oh, no.
It's hard to argue with that.
It looked really good.
And the CBS Sports recap even mentioned
Uh,
how this isn't the same Notre Dame
right.
people have come to expect.
This isn't your father's Notre Dame.
Right, exactly. They're not just a defensive powerhouse anymore.
It's a complete team.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams.
And they got a coach who can make adjustments.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman. He's got them believing
Yeah.
they can beat anybody.
Yeah. Seems like he's instilled this belief
Uh-huh.
that they can beat anyone.
And that's half the battle right there.
And that can be so powerful.
It's huge.
Especially
In the playoffs.
this time of year.
Yeah, when the pressure's on.
But Penn State,
Oh, yeah.
that's going to be a huge test.
Big one.
What do you think is going to be the key?
For me, it's all about the mental game.
Okay.
Can Notre Dame handle the pressure?
Stay focused.
Can they stay focused?
Yeah.
Can they block out the noise?
All the hype
All the hype.
that's surrounding them right now.
Yeah, they're the media darlings.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about them.
And they got to treat every game
Like it's the national championship.
it's a one-game season.
Yeah,
Because if they lose,
it's over.
it's over.
Season's over.
One thing that really impressed me
Yeah.
about Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl
Uh-huh.
was their ability to win the battle in the trenches.
They were more physical.
The CBS Sports article
Yeah.
highlighted how they were able to just lean
Just wear them down.
on Georgia's defensive front
Yeah.
and win that battle.
And that's not easy to do.
Georgia's defensive line was supposed to be their biggest strength.
Right. And Notre Dame just shut them down.
Completely neutralized them.
It was impressive.
It speaks volumes about their strength,
Yeah.
their resilience,
Yeah.
and their preparation.
Absolutely.
And their offensive line deserves a ton of credit, too.
Oh, yeah. They battled all game long.
They've been battling injuries all season long,
Yeah.
and they came out
And they got the job done?
and dominated
Yeah.
against Georgia's front seven.
That's a championship caliber offensive line right there.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what are your final thoughts on Notre Dame's chances in the playoffs?
I think they got a shot.
Do you think they have what it takes to go all the way?
It's not going to be easy,
No.
but I wouldn't count them out.
This Sugar Bowl victory has put the college football world on notice.
They're for real.
Notre Dame is back,
The Irish are back.
and they're a force to be reckoned with.
Don't sleep on Notre Dame.
Absolutely not.
They're dangerous.
Well, this has been another great deep dive.
It has.
Really appreciate your insights.
My pleasure.
Make sure you guys tune in next time
You'll be back.
for another deep dive.
See ya.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.